Joining us now is OjyOkpe with stories trending around the world. Hello, Jenix.
Fridays are special, aren't they? Good morning and happy Friday to you, Dr. Abati. How are you? Great, thank you. Good morning, Rufai. How are you?
Happy Friday.
Happy Friday
good,
to you.
Morning,
Great. I can't wait for the weekend to begin. Well, all right. Let's begin what's trending. With just 15 days to the presidential election, candidates of the leading political parties, the All Progressives Congress, the People's Democratic Party, and the Labour Party on Thursday took their campaigns to the north to canvass for votes. Peter Obi, the Labour Party's flag bearer during the party's campaign rally at the Old Parade Ground in Abuja, told his supporters that he will revolutionize governance in the country if he wins the February 25th presidential election. While lamenting the level of unemployment in the country, Obi also promised to create an enabling environment for the youth to thrive.
You are the one running this election. The youth of Nigeria, you are the one contesting this election through us. We are only representing you. We want this to change. Nigeria youths, young people in Nigeria don't know where the next thing will come from. We have high level of youth unemployment. We will employ our youths. We will make them productive. We have vast land in the north where our youths will be engaged and they will be productive. Nigeria will feed itself. Nigeria will be a great nation again. We don't want the excuses again.
Meanwhile, the All Progressives Congress took their campaign rally to Sokoto State, where President Mohammadu Buhari reiterated his commitment to ensuring that Bola Ahmed Tinubu wins the presidential election. While Buhari asked his supporters to consolidate on the gains of democracy by voting for Tinubu, stating that his greatest strength was his effective governance of Lagos. Tinubu, during the rally held at the Jiginya Stadium, promised the people of the state better living conditions.
Better education, job opportunity, agricultural produce, and better markets for Nigeria that will make you happy, make your children.
Well, the People's Democratic Party took their campaign to Kano State, where the party's flag bearer, Atiku Abubakar, promised to revamp the state's textile industry and open the borders for trade. Atiku also promised the youth security and industrial development during the party's rally held at the Sani Abacha Stadium.
It is only PDP administration that can implement these 4 key policy issues. Therefore, I want to appeal to you to vote PDP from top to bottom, from bottom up. Do you understand me? And I promise you that these policies will be implemented during the PDP administration, because we have done that before. Inshallah, we shall do it again.
However, the national chairperson of the People's Democratic Party, Rocha Ayu, got all the attention from the party's rally held in Kano State after stating that the PDP, the party which he chairs, has brought shame onto Nigerians. Well, Ayu made this comment while speaking on the reasons the people of Kano State should not vote for the All Progressives Congress. Let's take a look.
We are supposed to be the leaders in Africa and everywhere in the world. We should be respected. PDP has brought us shame, and we will not continue to retain them in power.
All right, Dr. Abati, while I catch my breath, this has generated a lot of reactions, especially from the APC camp. I don't know if I should take Festus Keyamo tweet first before I come to, but you know what, just tell me what you think before I take.
What Festus Keyamo was saying is that everybody should wait for the media today, and that will not make any headline. So you've disappointed him by making sure that you brought the story.
Of course.
But in any case, I mean, that's a classic example again of slip of the tongue. He wanted to refer to the APC. He mentioned PDP in this particular contest. He's not the first person to make that mistake. Even the wife of the presidential candidate of the PDP, you recall on one occasion, also wanted to talk about the PDP but she mentioned another political party. Well, I mean, these things happen, and the fact that he's not the presidential candidate, is the chairman of the party. People may not make so much, capital out of it. There are normal circumstances in which people, have the slip of the tongue. The difference is when it becomes habitual. It becomes a major defining characteristic, and then people begin to raise questions about the health of the particular individual involved. However, all the parties were out there yesterday. The APC was in Sokoto State. Sokoto State, that's where you have the chairman of the campaign of the PDP, Aminu Tambuwa, as governor. While he was in Abuja, in Kano, the APC was in his state. But the major thing in that APC rally in Sokoto, two things. The president, again, coming out strongly to endorse the presidential candidate of the party, and reminding everyone that, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu will consolidate on his achievements, and that he did very well in Lagos State. The second thing in Sokoto, of course, will be the fact that some persons who have been in the PDP defected to the APC, including, as reported, the deputy governor of Sokoto State. In Abuja, you had Mr. Peter Obi also having his own campaign. And one of the major things he told the crowd there is that, look, collect their money, they vote for us.
Right.
And, all the usual things about what you would do, move Nigeria from consumption to production, create jobs, address challenges of insecurity. And then in Kano, you had the PDP presidential candidate, who in fact visited the Emir of Kano, and who in the course of the visit, pointed out that the present Emir said that the former Emir, also had told him that he will be president of Nigeria someday. But I think it's traditional for politicians to go to a city and then go see the traditional ruler there, as the APC also did in Sokoto when, the delegation, the party chieftains, went to pay homage to the Sultan of Sokoto.
All right.
But we'll see more in terms of these activities.
Absolutely.
And February 25 will come and go, and we'll know where we are in Nigeria.
All right, before I come to you, I guess we'll go on a short break. And when we come back, What's Trending will continue. Welcome back to the morning show. We're still on What's Trending. Well, Rufai, before we went on that break, we were discussing Irocha Ayu's gaffe at that rally. Let me just quickly take Festus Keamo's tweet. He wrote, in Kano today, Irocha Ayu, the PDP national chairman, confessed that PDP has brought shame and we should not retain them in power. This obvious slip of tongue will not make any headlines. Watch out for some press reports. Rufai.
No, but because we're very objective here, we say it the way it is. So it made the headlines. It's a slip of tongue. And you see, most of these slips are indicative of the fact that a lot of our politicians have crossed too much from one party to another. So they don't remember where they are sometimes. So that's why when somebody said the other day, was trying to refer to the PDP and said APC. In fact, somebody, he was so not sure at a point, he said, God bless APPDP, So we hear things like that. It just shows you that the political class is one. And I think it's indicative of the fact that Nigerians should not be caught on in political shenanigans. You should be selfish to ask politicians what they will do for you to better your life. All of them are just one party. I don't think there are many political parties in Nigeria. It's just one party, and that's the elite political class. The day it favors them, they are together. The day it doesn't favor them, they set up other parties and they say, oh, I'm against this one, and they just used to get their political games. They and their children will always be richer. They will perpetuate themselves in power. Probably at some point they will capture the state. But going further than that, I appreciate the things that was said across, the three campaign grounds. First from Peter Obi, like you started, said all the right things. But you see, it's something for you to say things on the election ground. I like to quote Mario Cuomo that said, we campaign in poetry and govern in prose. Hope all of these promises they are making. Hope when the rubber hits the road, they will not tell us that they didn't say $1, they were going to make $1 1 naira. Hope they will not deny, because politicians they've mastered the class art of lying and denying the things they said. And that's why I see, please, any of the campaign promises made by the Labour Party, the APC, the PDP, the NMPP, because NMPP too was in the news yesterday. I think they had a campaign somewhere, a regional, campaign session. I think people are writing them down, because these things are going to make the bulk of the campaign promise. And it is based on this that they are going to be judged. All we just want is free and fair elections that will work for the citizenry of Nigeria that are hard suffering. Nigeria is a blessed country, has the capacity to do well, but we've not gotten leadership right. And when we do it right, we'll be able to get to our desired destination.
Well said, Rufai. Well, in a new twist of events, the Special Advisor, Media Communications and Public Affairs of the All Progressives Congress Presidential Campaign Council, Dele Alake, on Thursday morning during a radio interview said that Bola Ahmed Tinubu's gaffe, in which he was heard muttering unintelligible words during a town hall meeting with the private sector in Imo State, was doctored. Let's take a look.
Give you an example, sir. When Bola Ahmed Tinubu was famously, shown to say the Bala Bulu, that's something I can't understand.
Is there no other way to say that?
No. But if he sleeps, sir, it's okay.
True. It's not true. What is true then? It was doctored.
It was doctored.
You do
I'm
realize...
telling you, it was doctored because we showed the real original video clip.
Why
on TVC.
Why would
and
you...
then it was broken into snippets and thrown on the social media.
Well, here's a video of Bola Ahmed Tinubu muttering those unintelligible words, which has since gone viral. Let's take a look.
You see the innovation. If we lend ourselves to innovation, we can create wonders. Yeah, it's a successful, again, a town hall, different from Bala Blue, Bulaba.
Rufai, I have heard of deep fake, but how can you say that is a doctored video? This video has gone viral since November 17th. Last year.
November 17th, it went viral. They didn't give a rebuttal. Now you're telling me it's doctored. But I'm not surprised, though, Oji. It is you see, we journalists, Dr. Basimi, we're like Musa. There is nothing.
Musa will not see at the gates.
Musa will not see at the gates. Dr. Batino, was it not here that me and you were seated? That somebody said 2 bullion vans missed their way into somebody's house. He even further said that the bullion van was empty after the owner of the bullion van said it was me the bullion van was coming to. So, Oji, we are like Musa, and the thing about us is, as gatekeepers like us as Musa, there's nothing we will not see at the gate. So, if he said he's doctored, I mean Dr. Abat is here.
Anyway,
tell us.
I think, I've said it on this program before. The communications team of the APC presidential candidate, they've been doing more damage to him than necessary. And also the assumption that if they shout loudest, their version of noise will drown other people's noise, but it's not really working. And I hope that they will learn their lessons from what they are doing in the event that they win, and not carry this kind of attitude into governance, because then even the consequences for the brand of their principal, will be worse. However, to put it as it is, I think, Mr. Dele Alake himself must be convinced within him that he's just spinning, he's just doing his job. What do you expect him to say? He will say it is doctored. But as the campaign team, have they even shown us what the original tape, the video is, which is exactly what you have done for them. You will see that even the journalists asking him the question, they were not convinced. So the thing almost degenerated into a shouting match. And I think, communication, crisis management ought to be better structured. When Comrade Ayodele Adewale came here, and he was confronted with this same blala, blue, whatever, he said it was swag. That Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu was just showing swag. When they asked Festus Keyamo, they said, it was sense of humor that the presidential candidate was showing. Now we have heard that it was a doctor. But this Balablublu made so much impact that one university used it to set exam question last semester. I don't know whether you have seen that.
I have seen it.
Okay, so this is just rear guard action, trying to mop it up. But whatever may have happened, it's all part of the entertainment side of this political season.
I'm telling you, he has introduced a new shade of blue in Nigeria now.
But as I said, you never know.
Yeah.
The APC presidential candidate may be multilingual, he may be a polyglot. So when things like this happen, they should go about with an interpreter who understands that special language, so that the electorate can better understand. But to think you can shout down other people just because you people have your own platform, no, that's not how it's done. They need to do a better job of communicating, of strategic management, of crisis management.
Absolutely. We'll take another story. The governor of Kaduna State, Nasiru El-Rufai, who has been quite vocal on the controversy surrounding the CBN Naira redesign policy on Thursday, reacted to reports about the policy in a video that has now gone viral.
The United Kingdom just got themselves a new king, King Charles. And they are changing their entire currency. From the coins to the notes, we'll all now have the picture, not of Queen Elizabeth, that has been there for more than 70 years, but that of King Charles. But from now to the end of time, if you go to England with a pound note with Queen Elizabeth, it will be accepted as legal tender and replaced with the new note. That is what every civilized country has done. Why is Nigeria doing this differently if there is no hidden agenda? Why are we expected to change 3 trillion in a matter of weeks? And then you print only 300 billion worth of notes.
Well, author and activist Renaud Mokere took time out to debunk the claim. Let's take a look.
Malam Nasir Rufai, what he just said in that video which you watched is inaccurate. First and foremost, when one monarch dies and another monarch takes over, it's not a naira or it's not a pound redesign. It's not a currency redesign. It just flows. It's what they call continuity. So it flows. It has nothing to do with redesign. However, the UK did redesign the £50 note and the £20 note. And if you're watching me, you can just go on Google or you can go on whatever search engine you like and then research this. When they did that, they put a deadline, which was last year, 30th of September 2022. And then a week before that deadline, and you're going to see it up on the screen, the Bank of England actually issued a warning, a caveat, which was on television, on radio, and then on every media, warning people that they were not going to ship that deadline. And you're going to see it on the screen. In the United Kingdom, even the British Prime Minister cannot interfere with the Bank of England. The Council of the Exchequer, which is their version of the Minister of Finance, cannot interfere with the Bank of England.
Rufai, over to you.
Let's set the record straight on all of this. Nasir El-Rufai erred when he said that after the expiry date of the note, you can use it as a legal tender. It ceases to become a legal tender. You cannot tender it legally, for purchase or transaction. But Nasir El-Rufai was correct when he said that you can still return it and the bank will still mop it up. So what happened the last time was the UK changed the 20 and the £50 note to polymer notes. And when they did that, there was a cutoff point of the 30th. Then the old notes, which was the paper notes before now, ceased to be a legal tender after the 30th of September. But you can still take the notes into the Bank of England or via post to be able to obtain the new note if you had the former notes in the house. So I think that's the clarification there. But it was not necessary for Nasir El-Rufai to be saying, pea-brain policy and things like that. Those words are not good for a public official, because there's a contentious issue. You argue your point succinctly and intelligently and you let it go.
Yeah,
but that's the clarification on this matter.
This whole Naira redesign policy has been trending. Dr. Abati, before I come to you, let me take this video of this woman that actually sprayed her own currency during an event in Lagos. Let's take a look. Well, Dr. Abati, I know that Naira plunking is illegal or is a crime. I mean, is this one too a crime? Is this Naira? I mean, this is her own currency, or is it illegal?
Well, one of the fallouts in recent times has been the attempt to test Section 21 of the CBN Act, which says clearly that you can't tamper with the national currency, you can't spray it, you can't flunk it, and the penalty is properly defined in Section 21, subsection 1. It says 6 months imprisonment, or a fine not less than 50,000 naira, or a combination of both 6 months imprisonment and that 50,000 naira penalty. Now, somebody may well say they are not spending the naira. Yeah. That, after all, is the naira that the CBN was complaining about, and some people had even been arrested for spraying the new notes at parties. Well, that Section 21 is good that we may have the opportunity to test it. Why? Because the same CBN Act says the legal tender in Nigeria is called naira, denominated in 100 kobo. And then in Section 17, it gives the CBN the sole authority to issue documents, notes, coins that shall be used as legal tender. If you go and print anything of your own, if you are not using it as legal tender, if it's monopoly money, it's okay. But if you try to use it as legal tender, then you may have run foul of the law. Because the operative word under Section 15, Section 17, and Section 21 is shall. And shall is obligatory. It means you cannot go and produce your own money and you are spending it in this territory called Nigeria. If the money is spent, you know, and the musician collects it, will he go and change it to collect value? Okay? Or have they had a prior arrangement to use the naira as backup for it? So these are the issues there. But you see again the thing we said about culture here. Yeah. People are so obsessed with spraying money, they say it's their culture. Even if it is fake money, they want to do it. Ironically, that's where we find ourselves.
Well, all right. Thank you, Dr. Abati, for that. Really appreciate it. Rufai, thank you both again for your great analysis on what's trending today. Well, that's all I have for you on what's trending today. I'll see you all next week.